I think this is take 15 at this point. But it's Katie here with a really fun episode for you. We're going to go through my entire stash. I am going to reorganize it, group all my project-specific plans together, and show them to you with pattern suggestions. Statistically, did I live up to my expectations from when I stashed down and reorganized 1 year ago? Let's see. So grab a cup of something cozy, your project, and let's get started. Hey guys, it's Katie here. If you're unfamiliar with me, I am the Katie behind all of the patterns at Katie DeGroff Knits, the host of the Katie Knits podcast, which you are currently enjoying, and creator of all of the other videos you see here on my channel. Please take a moment and hit that subscribe button, and you can even hit the little bell if you want to be notified when I post a new video. And just because you're watching, give it a like and a thumbs up. Let YouTube know that you are enjoying this video. Today for me is Monday, March 2nd. This is episode 26 of the Katie Knits podcast. On Mugwatch, I am drinking my second cup of coffee of the day because I cannot seem to wake up out of my mug from Kelly B. Justice, which will be linked below. And as for what else I'm wearing, we're going to chat for a moment about the sponsor of today's video. So I'm finding myself in a little bit of a transitional period in my life. If you've been following along, you know John just retired from the military last year, so no more moving, no more deployments, no more underways, duty days, all that jazz. My two girls that I homeschool are now 10 and 15, so they're starting to develop their own styles. And that kind of makes me a little jealous. I don't have my own. I have always provided for everyone else. Now it's kind of a little bit of me time. So when Luisa contacted me about reviewing some of their jewelry pieces, I jumped at the chance. I was already familiar with this company from seeing them on several other podcasts that I watch. So it was literally perfect. What I am wearing is the Lev Heart Small in gold. It's the perfect accent piece. As you can see, I'm literally wearing a zip-up hoodie and a tank top and workout pants. I'm, mucking around my house today, but just by putting on a classic necklace, I feel a little more put together. Luisa was also kind enough to send along their ash double two-tone earrings. As you can see here, every piece from Luisa will come gift boxed. So you can just wrap it up, and it's a very respectable gift to give anyone or just yourself. These earrings are perfect that they are a little bit larger. I typically wear my hair down, so you can't really see a tiny little earring on me. They're excellent. I can dress them up. I can wear them with jeans and a hoodie to go grocery shopping, and I not feel awkward that they are too dressy. But if I do want to get dressed up, they would be perfect for that as well. All Luisa pieces come with a 2-year warranty, and they're a great company that ships right out of Pennsylvania in the United States. Quickly, you can use my QR code here on the screen or the link in the description box below to go shop and grab yourself something. These pieces are great. It's something that I want to do is elevate myself. I don't want to be the sweatpant wearing, hoodie wearing mom who never does anything with herself anymore. And these are great. They're perfect. Throw them on and go. You don't have to think about them. The last thing I want to think about is being fussy styling something. Literally put it on and go. Boom, you're done. So use my QR code here on the screen or the link in the description box below. Now I just received these pieces a couple weeks ago. If you're wondering how they hold up, give a look to Amanda at Birch and Lily Knits podcast, her episode number 176, which I've linked down below in the description box, where she not only reviews new pieces, but also gives you an update on ones she's had for over a year. And she's a brand new mom, she can't be bothered to worry about her jewelry, and they still look perfect. So go check that review out as well. Now on to the yarn. We want to get to the yarn. I have my yarn stash in my living room. It's a part of our living room and of our daily lives. So I kind of need to keep it neater and maybe looking a little nicer. Everyone knows when you organize something, it's only going to last for so long. We can only keep it up for so long, or at least that's me. But then it eventually just gets to the point where stuff comes out, it doesn't go back in the right way, or we just want to change how we organize things. We may have different amounts of something, and what we did before didn't work or doesn't work anymore. So I do want to take a moment to chat about stashes. Don't feel peer pressured into comparing your stash to anybody else's. You are you, they are them. You need to do what is best for you, your situation, your knitting or crocheting style, and your space. A recent video that I came across was Isabella from Breathing Yarn had a chat about stash consumption. Maybe some new viewpoints that she had on it, and it just really resonated with me about how we are so eager to quickly stash down or quickly go through our stash, or maybe make these unrealistic expectations for ourselves. That's really not what we need to do in that moment. So I have linked her video down below. It's a short one, so definitely give it a watch and see what you think. Maybe something will click with you like it did me. I don't want to blow through my stash. I don't want to set an expectation or a limit. I want to knit 10 garments this year, or I want to use 50% of my stash this year. That doesn't work for me. That may work for you, and that's what you need to do. But for me, I need to have usable quantities that I will actually knit, that I'll actually enjoy knitting, and that I'll actually wear. I do want to have a variety as well. So last year I did set some goals for myself. I wanted to add more usable sweater quantities to my stash. I wanted a variety. Do I just want to go cast something on? I want it to be much more intentional with my purchases and with my makes. We will see at the end of this if I held up my end of the bargain. I think I did, but numbers and actual statistics really tell a different picture sometimes. Without further ado, we are going to get to going through everything. Now, this is definitely one of those things I've been dreading, because it's one of those situations where you need to make a bigger mess before you can clean up your original mess. This is everything I do have in my stash. The only thing that is upstairs is my whip basket, my whip and dip basket. Everything that is actually on my needles and actively being worked on. That lives upstairs in individual project bags in one basket, and I just pull from those when I work those. How I used to have my stash organized was primarily by dyer. I had several dyers that I loved and consumed, probably 3/4 of my stash. Now I'm finding that I'm weeding through some of those quantities, and it really doesn't work anymore. As I stand here right now and tell you, my thoughts are that I would like to segregate out all of the project-specific quantities or anything that I have actual plans for. Now, these may not be steadfast plans. I may change them. I may change them before I cast on or after I cast on, and that's okay. But right here, right now, that's what I have planned for them. So those are going to be separate. Then there are certain quantities that will stay together, like the yarn that John bought for me on deployments or overseas work trips. That'll all stay together. I kind of want to keep sweater quantities together, maybe sock sets together. There's certain things that I think will fall into place as we get this going. First order of business is to take everything out, segregate it in those groups, catalog it all so I can see what I actually have to work with as far as going back on the shelves. After everything's put back and away, I will be sitting down with my computer and updating my stash page on Ravelry. Even if you don't use Ravelry for the community features and all you use it for is to buy patterns, the stash feature is excellent. It's a great tool that I don't use hardly at all. The last time I think I fully updated my stash was about 10 years ago. So a lot's changed. And I would be surprised if I had maybe 5% of what's on my stash page still in my stash. So at some point this week, I will be going and doing that, but I'm not going to bore you with me sitting on my computer and taking photos with my phone for hours on end. So we'll just do the fun stuff. As I'm looking around here, there's probably, 15, 20 of the boys' toys all over the place. So I need to pick those up before I can put my yarn all over the floor. So let's get organizing. I wasn't lying when I said they had a lot of toys. And I'm looking at an entire laundry basket full of other toys. It's like I have 5 toddlers running around, and in respect, I only have 2. It's amazing the things you find. Completely forgot that I had some of this yarn in here. I thought this was just Advents. Turns out it's not. as you saw, my shelves are clear. Everything is out. Whatever's left in bins on there is going to stay in the bins. Maybe not on those exact shelves, but it'll stay there. Oh my goodness, very overwhelming, and it may look like a total disaster. However, it actually does have some order to it. So I am going to break for lunch, potty the dogs. As you saw, Micah was sleeping on the job the whole time. And Beasley was just sleeping over there. Bums. They're absolute bums. They don't help. Worth a thing. But after lunch, I'm going to tackle putting things back where I think they would go best. Have another helper. As you saw earlier, Micah decided to help and by laying amongst them, and now Joey is trying to tiptoe around the yarn so he can come and say hi. Oh, they help in so many ways. It has now been 2 days since I reorganized, and I owe you a bit of an update. I grossly underestimated, as you generally do when you're reorganizing, the time it was going to take to actually reorganize and put everything away. And there was a lot of things I figured out along the way. I could not catalog everything and inventory it as I was putting it away because then I wanted to change where things were and I didn't know if I counted this or that or the other thing, and it was just a mess. So all I did on Monday was reorganize. That's it. Today is Wednesday. I cataloged everything, so I have some stats for you so we can compare last year's stash to this year's and see if I met my goals that I set for myself and where I stand today. So first I'm going to give you just a little bit of a tour to show you where everything is now, and then we'll go through some stats and some pattern recs for the quantities that I have pulled for specific patterns. So here we are at shelf 1. Something that stayed was the basket with the yarn that John has gotten me from deployments or overseas work trips. That all stayed segregated together. I didn't want to split that up. Over here, we have a singles shelf. These are all single skeins of various weights that there's only one of each. And they don't necessarily go with a set or anything like that. And then, of course, up top, I have a remnant bin. Those will not be added to my stash page on Ravelry. And I don't really count those necessarily. They're just there. Then we come down here, and this is an addition that I sort of realized when I started putting things away that I had a great deal of pairs of various weights. So, and you'll see on the other shelf, this whole shelf are pairs. They're all paired off. So if I need 2 of something, I know where to look. Coming over here, of course, I have my Target basket, which will be acquisitions since the last podcast. And behind it these are quantities that are caked up for things that are already on my needles, and these are just extras. Then I decided to put all of my color changing and like spin cycle, junction fiber, that sort of deal, all together so I knew where it was. All right, coming down here, I left my books that were over here. My books, my color cubes, of course, my little Fifi and my buffalo. But I left those where they were because they really fit good there. So I didn't want, if it's not broke, don't fix it. My deal. This bin changed over. I have some sock blockers on the sides, but this bin changed over to mini sets. There are nothing but mini sets in this bin. So if I need a set and there are varying weights in there, I can just go to that bin. Down here, not including the dog, but down here, these 2 shelves all have projects assigned to them. Whether or not I actually wind up making that project, these all have something designated. So be it a future dip or design, or be it something. That's what these 2 shelves are for. So if I'm looking to cast on something that's already in my queue, or I have planned, there it is. Now the last shelf, or the last space on this shelf is all sock sets. These are sock sets or full self-striping skeins. So if I want a sock set or I want a self-striping skein, I know where to find it. So on the top of shelf 2, I have a remnant bin up top. These 2 shelves are specifically segregated into project quantities. They don't necessarily have an exact pattern or project assigned, but they are either a sweater quantity or a hat specific quantity, something that I could make something with. That's multiple skeins. Those are up here. Now moving down, this is my second paired off shelf. So all of these, again in varying weights, are pairs. So if I pull a pattern that I need 2 of, or I need a bunch of sets of 2s, whatever the case may be, they are there. Now over here, I kept this shelf pretty much the same. I have my books. Then I also have my entire basket of my nomadic yarn balls, my little gobstopper balls, including the super neat 3D printed skeins the girls got me for Christmas. They look cute in there. I also have my white birch gradient sock sets of several in here, and my little trinkets. All right, moving down on these, I segregated all my fluff. I took all the fluff out of everywhere that wasn't directly attached to a sweater quantity or a project, and I put them down here so I know where to find them. These are random minis. These are all of my row 1 subscriptions. There's also an old advent in there that I've been pulling from when I need something for socks. So that's all right here. Moving on over here, I have some Miss Babs Yowza skeins that didn't really fit anywhere else, so they look nice there. And then I have all of my Palmer Yarn Company sock sets. I absolutely love her sock sets, and I did a whole year subscription and then some. So those I thought all looked nice together. Okay, moving on to the last of our shelves. Here is another single skein shelf. So this guy has varying weights. There's only one of everything. So if I need singles or I just need one of something, it's going to be there. Over here on this shelf, I have my Moonglow Yarn Co. sets. Then I have, to be perfectly honest, this was a 4 skein Yummy 2-ply set from Miss Babs that I completely forgot about when I was reorganizing, so it fits nice there. And then I have my advents. I have my Sunshine advents are in here. Then down here, I despise keeping yarn in plastic bags. It is too slippery and it drives me insane. But down here, I was able to stack all of my mini sets that are in plastic bags. I don't want to take them out. They're just going to go everywhere. It's a disaster. So I stacked them next to my Miss Babs Yummy 2-ply toes bin. So that is on my last shelf. Now, in between just living, I have my empty project bag of empty project bags. Then my Oakwood Advents, my monstrosity of quantity there. And this bag is full of my next hopeful cast-ons, which are my Ovis sweater and then John's zipper sweater light. So I pulled those. Those are in there with the printed patterns. So hopefully those will be the next to go on my needles. Okay, are you ready to hear the damage? So I'm going to put up here next to me my stats from my stash reorganization last year and how they compare to this year. I did not count my minis like I did last year, so I'm just going to leave those off. So we'll start at the top with lace. Now, last year I had 46 skeins. This year I have 48. However, I realized in the last year I don't knit with true lace weight yarn. And what I mean by true lace weight is not a mohair or a suri. So something meant for a lace project. I haven't knit a lace project in like 10 years. I don't need it anymore. It's all found new homes. So everything that I have now is either a suri or a mohair to be held with something else or doubled by itself, but not a true lace weight project. So in that respect, I definitely think I improved. Then comes fingering skeins. Last year I had 217. This year I have 200. I feel like I gained a little bit, but I definitely gained what I'm going to use as opposed to things that have just been sitting. And I look at them and I would never use them. I would never wear what's knit with them. So they needed to go. So they all found new homes. As for sport weight yarn, last year I had 17 skeins. This year I have 29. Out of those 29, majority of them are in sweater quantities. So I destashed things that, again, I would never wear, I would never use. I didn't have a total workable quantity for a garment, so they went bye-bye. On to the world of DK. This is where it starts to get fun. Last year I had 35 skeins. This year I have 96 skeins of DK yarn in my stash. These next two quantities, DK and worsted, make me very happy. Something I want to work on more of, garments, usable items. What do you typically use for garments and sweaters and usable items? DK or worsted. So these make me very happy that these quantities jumped so much. So as far as the worsted category, I had 24 last year. I have 58 skeins this year. So that just makes me very, very happy. And in bulky, I had 9 last year. I only have 4 this year. I don't really knit too much with bulky, but I did keep a few skeins if I want to whip up quick hats or quick things. Last year I had 3 advents. This year I have 5. The only advents I added were my Oakwood advents. Everybody knows the story with those. I bought 2 and 1,000 main skeins, and I'm gonna design a quilt-inspired blanket, so it does have a purpose. Sock sets, I feel like in the last year, I don't realize how many I added. Last year I had 25. For some reason, I just think that was wrong because this number jumped so much. So last year I had 25 sock sets. This year I have 63. I don't remember buying that many sock sets, but apparently I did. It's not a bad thing. I really want to knit more sock sets, and part of my design process this year is coming out later in the year will be a sock set pattern collection where you don't just have to use sock sets for socks. I'm going to show you a sock pattern, and then with the same exact sock set will be an accessory. I'm really branching out from just, oh my gosh, you have to use a sock set for a sock only. So that won't be so bad. Now the last stat I have for you is probably the best, my best. Last year, I had 4 sweater quantities in my stash. 4, that's it. I wanted to increase that, obviously. I have increased that over the last year to 24. And this includes what's on my needles right now, though. So I do have 1, 2, 3. I do have 3 sweaters on my needles right now. So that is in there. Oh no, 4. I have 4 sweaters on my needles. Oh my gosh, I have so many projects going on, I don't even know. I increased. Last year I had 4. This year I have 24. I have 24 sweater quantities in my stash and on my needles, and that makes me so happy. But I'm very happy with those numbers. I set goals for myself to increase what I considered to be usable quantities of yarn that today's Katie would knit and wear, or John or Sophia or Elizabeth, somebody in this household would wear. That makes me very, very happy. So I consider it overall a win. And I'm not going to go and be silly and reward myself with yarn. Yeah, not happening. So now I am going to take you, if you remember, those 2 shelves over here that were all quantities that had patterns or projects associated with them. I'm going to take you through and I'm going to show you them with the pattern recommendations. Personally, I love seeing when other people do this because I have found so many patterns that I didn't even know existed. Maybe they didn't get the hype or they didn't catch on at the time to be as popular or as viral. So I didn't even know they existed. But I'll watch people's pattern roundups or rec videos, and then I find them, and it's like the light bulb goes off and all the pieces fall into place. And hey, I have the perfect yarn for that, or I would really like that. So maybe you can get some inspiration from my suggestions. And I am working completely around Micah because he refuses to move. As you saw earlier in my organization video, how completely ridiculous this dog can be, he's continuing to be ridiculous. So I will show you the yarn and then I will pop up the pattern or project that is the inspiration behind it. So first up, I have a kit from Red Door Fiber Studio. She put up blind date with a kit, or no, it was blind date with a pattern kits. I know that is a lot to say. And I have always loved the Snuggle is Real Cowl by Maxim Sear. I've just loved it. I love the I-cord tie. It just, I've always wanted to make one, but I could never settle on colors. So I kept seeing that their blind date with a pattern kits, oh my gosh, I have to concentrate on that, were selling out like instantly when she would post them. And I finally got the chance to snag one. So now I find out why they are so popular. So this was my kit that I got sent. And it's just perfect. It is absolutely perfect for winter. It doesn't scream Christmas, but it screams winter. And I'm not going to wear this cowl any other time of the year. So these will become a Snuggle is Real cowl. So next up, before we went to Rhinebeck, I had everybody pick out patterns and projects that they could shop for yarn for. And Sophia's, she wanted a pillow. She wanted a heart pillow. And first, she found this yarn at Frogget. Then she found this fluff to be held with this yarn at Miss Babs. So those will be held together. Then at Primrose, the Stranger Things fanatic she is, she found an Erica Sinclair mini set and had to have it. So these guys are going to become a heart pillow for Sophia. We really don't have a pattern in mind. I think I'm just going to wing it. I don't think it can be that hard to do, but a heart pillow will be made for Sophia. I do have a cardigan for Sophia on my needles right now, and I have some extra of the main color for her here, so that's there. And then, of course, you've heard me talk ad nauseum about my polypaca from Upland Fiber Co. for me and John. These are our extra skeins for that. Now, I have these from Granite State Yarns. Lauren had developed this mini set and this main color as well as another one, but just for right now we're going to talk about these, for my Funfetti Mystery Knit Along this year. And I saw these and instantly knew that they were going to become a Finch, another striped Finch. Because we all know my first one was holiday inspired. I need another one that I can wear all the time. So this is going to be my main color. This is Snow Flurry from Granite State Yarns, and this is the Fairy Lights mini set, which will become another striped. The pattern is fantastic. It is extremely clear, clean. It's just pristine and precise, and all the little details just make it so wonderful. So these will become another striped Finch. The only patterns I'm not going to mention in here are dips, because those are going to be future designs in progress. And I don't really have a pattern to show you yet for them, so those are going to stay put. Now this sweater quantity is one you have not seen yet because it came in the mail since my last podcast recording, so I haven't had a chance to show you at all. So Kim of Newburgh Yarn Co, she put up a pre-order, and there was this red that just took me. It was just perfect. It was bright. It was not muted at all, but it wasn't like, sometimes a bright red can be cheesy, I think. And this one was absolutely not. So I had to have it. And the pattern I'm going to make with it, initially, I wanted a gold color. This one just kind of took me. So this is The Ripper in Hudson DK by Newburgh Yarn Co. It's just so perfect. So it's going to become a long-sleeved Colette tee, and that is by Sari Nordland. I'm just going to take it and make it long sleeve, and I think it's going to be great. I definitely have the quantity for it, and this red in a lace and cabled sweater is going to be stunning. And it's not like, oh my gosh, a Christmas red. I can wear it all winter long. So I can style it up or down. So I found my yarn finally for a Colette. Okay, now moving on to the bottom shelf, I have a whole slew of sock sets up here for my sock set pattern collection. That is going to come out later this year. But what I do have plans for, and I can talk to you about now. So I fell in love with the Flock Doodle from Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. And I've always wanted to make a doodle cowl. I don't like how some of the pattern, or most of the patterns, when you do knit a doodle cowl, then when you wear it, they're turned sideways, and I don't particularly like that, but I think these sheep will actually look good like that. So I wanted to find as similar to the original colors as I could. I found this set from Yarnaceous in Bronto DK. It is their Dog Days tonal set. So I have two, and they're going to eventually become my very first doodle cowl, which is going to be the Flock Doodle from 2024. Next up, I have another quantity from Yarnaceous. So I've always wanted to make the Traveler Hoodie, hood and all, by Andrea Mowry. Just never really necessarily nailed down colors. I do really love how people will make a pop accent color for their I-cord. So another quantity from Yarnaceous. So my main color is going to be in this beautiful corally pink, and my accent pop for my I-cord tie is going to be in this lovely lime. I think it's just going to be fun and a bit funky. I didn't want something like a traditional blue. I also toyed with going with a color changing yarn for the whole thing. Too many decisions. I decided. So these will eventually become a Traveler Hoodie by Andrea Mowry. So next up on the project train is the sweater, the viral pattern that so many people have a love-hate relationship with, the Rosie sweater by LeKnit. So many people fell in love with this pattern when it first got released. It went viral, and there were so many complaints right off the bat. Issues with the pattern, frustrations with how it's constructed, whole 9 yards. So I knew I didn't want to make it immediately, but I am going to want to eventually make it. So I've been bookmarking tons of project vlogs on YouTube, and I don't think that the pattern is really that bad. I think there's definitely long floats that are going to have to be catched, which is something I would love to teach myself, maybe ladder back jacquard for it or something along those lines. So I definitely think it's going to be a great learning experience for me. Nobody seems to really enjoy the process. However, people love the finished product. And I just remembered something that I forgot to do the other day. So I saw on a podcast, somebody was making the Rosie sweater, but their accent color that they used for the roses, they held a variegated mohair with. No, they actually used now that I remember, a variegated sock yarn for it. And they held it double, I believe. So that gave me an idea. So my initial yarn that I purchased for the sweater was from Sonder Yarn Co. Always wanted to try their Sunday morning DK. I got this beautiful gray as my main color, and I picked out a navy blue as my accent. Seeing the variegated roses got me thinking. I have this beautiful mohair from Miss Babs, and I haven't kind of figured out what to do with it. I think I did. So I plan on holding this variegated mohair with this navy blue for my roses. I think that's going to be absolutely gorgeous. That alone makes me want to cast it on like right now. But I do want to do a little bit of learning about catching long floats and all that jazz, and maybe go against my practices of not swatching, actually make a proper swatch and practice on that first. But I think this variegated mohair with this navy blue against this solid gray background is going to be absolutely stunning. So these will become a Rosie sweater. So I just have 2 more projects to show you. And in case anybody's wondering, Micah is still sleeping here. And I'm like half sitting on him at this point. I'm just dropping yarn all over him. So the first project is a kit that I bought. And I don't normally buy kits and actually make what they're intended for. But I've always wanted to make the Someone to Write Gnome About Gnome from our Gnome Queen, Sarah Shira of Imagine Landscape Designs. I've always wanted him. I absolutely fell in love with his self-striping hat and his socks. Love it. So I purchased a kit from Mustache Yarns, and I picked this green because I love green. Who doesn't? But I will be making him at some point to sit on my shelves. So this will become a Someone to Write Gnome About. So my last project that I have on my project queued up shelves is one that I loved when it came out, and it's kind of a recent release, and I couldn't decide on colors for. Then I realized I already have the yarn for it in my stash. I am talking about that pink peppermint sweater by Tanis, the striped version. I loved it. I love the fit. I love the oversized sweatshirtiness of it. Just loved it. And then I realized I already have the yarn for it. I have had this maybe odd quantity of DK from the lemonade shop for a while in my stash. I have 2 skeins of this like olive green, 2 skeins of this beautifully speckled cream, and then I have 1 accent skein of this beautiful coral. So together, I think I'm going to play around with the stripes just a little bit to make them fully work. But together, these guys are going to become a striped pink peppermint by Tanis. So I think I already made a striped finch, making another striped finch, but there's always room for another striped sweater in your wardrobe. So these will become a pink peppermint. And turns out I didn't have to buy a thing. I just went shopping in my stash, which is another goal that I had for myself. Before I go buy yarn for something, check out my stash and see if I already have it. So final closing thoughts are I'm very happy with my 2026 stash as opposed to my 2025 stash. I expanded where I wanted to, and I decreased where I wanted to. I definitely feel like this is me. This is today's knitting Katie. This is what I will wear. This is what I want to knit on. And I found respectable homes for everything else. And it fits. It fits in my shelves. I don't want things all over the place. I do want them to have a home, and hopefully I will put them back away. I have a terrible habit of organizing, and then I never put anything back, so it doesn't stay organized very long. So hopefully I can do better on that one. Before we go, don't forget to go check out Luisa Jewelry via QR code or link in the description box. I am wearing the ash. These were the ash double two-tone earrings, but I removed a link. When you take them apart to put them on, all you do is slide the extra link off. So it's like 2 pairs of earrings for the price of 1. So I am wearing those with just 1 link. And I'm wearing the Lev Heart small necklace, which I've been wearing every day since I got it. So definitely go check those pieces out. You want something that is affordable, yet it's not cheap, and it's just gonna eventually be thrown in the trash because it tarnishes and breaks. These are pieces that are built to last, as well as not break the bank. Perfect middle ground, throw them on and go. No fussy styling, and you look good. So that's definitely something I need in my life. I don't want to be fussy. I don't want to have to worry about things. So go check out Luisa Jewelry. They were the lovely sponsor for today's video, and they have great pieces. So I've looked at them for a while, and they reached out to me, so it was like a match made in heaven. Next week, I will be back with a proper standard podcast, and I've had like 2.5 weeks to work on things, so I may even have some new FOs for you. I hope you enjoyed my little stash tour and reorganization, and by the time this video goes up and you're watching it, my stash page on Ravelry will be completely updated. So if you see something and you're wondering, hey, what is that? It'll be up there. It's not at the time of recording, but I'll probably do that this weekend. I'll just bring my computer and my phone down here and spend a couple hours and go shelf by shelf and update everything, because Ravelry stash pages are a really brilliant, wonderful tool if you keep them updated. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I need to go upload this video, finish dinner, and just knit or do something, because it's been so busy the last couple days that I don't even know where to begin. I hope you can bring joy into your life with something you're working on. Stay cozy, and happy knitting, everybody.